Before we launch into the how do we do the IRB process at IRB, at Manhattan University, I wanted to just talk about why we have an IRB process today. So, research involving human subjects has the potential to impact individuals' rights, their safety, and welfare. And the IRB, which stands for the Institutional Review Board, was established to ensure that ethical standards and legal protections exist for research participants. So, I'm going to present tonight a little bit about the key historical events that highlighted the need for ethical oversight and that led to the formation of the IRB. And through understanding the past, we can gain insight into the importance of ethical standards in modern research. So, the Nuremberg Code emerged after World War II following the Nuremberg trials, where Nazi doctors were tried for horrific experiments on concentration camp prisoners. And the code outlines fundamental principles for ethical research. Number one, voluntary consent. Participants must consent freely without coercion. Number two, avoidance of harm. Research should avoid causing unnecessary harm, focusing on participants' well being. Number three, the right to withdraw. Subjects should be able to end their participation at any time. And so these principles became a foundation for ethical research, emphasizing the respect for human dignity and autonomy. The Tuskegee syphilis study was conducted by the United States Public Health Service on 600 African American men, 400 with syphilis and 200 without. Participants were not informed of their condition or the study's purpose. They were simply told they were receiving free health care. And even after penicillin became widely available as a cure, researchers withheld treatment to study the progression of untreated syphilis. The study, which continued for 40 years, was a blatant violation of ethical standards, particularly regarding informed consent and non malfeasance, which is do no harm. So it prompted a public outcry and led to the establishment of formal ethics regulations in research, highlighting the need for transparency and respect in research. Psychologist Stanley Milgram conducted an experiment on obedience to authority, where participants were instructed to administer electric shocks to a quote unquote learner, which was an actor, whenever they answered questions incorrectly. Although the shocks were fake, participants believed they were real, and many continued to administer what they thought were painful or even dangerous shocks. So, this study raised ethical questions regarding deception and psychological harm, and many participants experienced significant stress, and some were traumatized by their actions under authority. So, the Milgram experiment demonstrated the potential harm of deception and the need for ethical guidelines to protect participants' mental well being. Sociologist Laud Humphrey's study observed male to male sexual encounters in public restrooms to examine patterns of same sex behavior. He acted as a quote unquote watcher, gathering personal details on participants without their knowledge, even tracking down their addresses for follow up interviews. And this study raised significant concerns about privacy and informed consent. While identities were not revealed, the invasive methods breached participants' confidentiality and autonomy. The quote unquote tea room trade unquote study underscored the need for respect for privacy and the importance of obtaining consent before engaging participants. So, following these unethical studies, the United States National Research Act led to the creation of the Belmont Report, which outlines three core ethical principles for conducting research with human subjects. One, respect for persons. This emphasizes the autonomy of participants and the need for informed consent. Two, Researchers are obligated to maximize benefits and minimize potential harms to participants. Three, justice, fair distribution of research benefits and burdens, ensuring no group is unduly burdened or excluded. So the Belmont Report remains a cornerstone for IRBs today, guiding ethical decision making and prompting respect, welfare, and fairness in research. The Common Rule, established in 1991, created a standard framework for human subjects and research across federal agencies. So it provides key regulations. Informed consent being one of those. So detailed guidelines to ensure participants understand the risks and purpose of research. IRB oversight. So all research involving human subjects must undergo review by an institutional review board. Special protection for vulnerable populations. So additional safeguards for groups like children, prisoners, and the mentally disabled. And the Common Rule formalized the IRB process, requiring universities and institutions to establish boards to review and approve all human research. So the IRB system exists to prevent ethical violations and protect human subjects from harm and drawing on lessons learned from past abuses. And so today, IRBs ensure that research involving human participants is conducted ethically, safely, and with respect for individuals' rights. So that's why researchers must obtain IRB approval to basically to safeguard participants' welfare and to ensure transparency and maintain the integrity of research. So, ethical oversight remains essential in today's rapidly evolving research environment, and the IRB helps prevent abuses, protects human rights, and promotes public trust in work. And by adhering to ethical guidelines, researchers not only protect participants, but also enhance the credibility and societal value of their findings. So, the IRB stands as a reminder of past lessons, reinforcing that ethics and respect must remain central to human subjects research. So that's the backdrop, and now we'll talk about the specifics as it relates to your work.